Hi everyone, it's Rax. Blizzard has a big campfire today to announce their new season, but they already posted the blog of everything that's coming out, so, well, we're going to get this information to you even faster than we initially expected. This is going to be the first season that was off of their roadmap. You know, it was powers, 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 and they said that they've been building up to something. And this season, if you compare to what they've done in the previous seasons, is far more massive. That's what she said. So let's check it out. The PTR for it starts on October 21st. And we'll definitely be playing this one because it looks like Diablo 4 may actually start to be changing. Let's go through all the things here. So they already mentioned that tempering and masterworking are going to be redone. These are two of the most hated things in the game. So for tempering, you can just select which affix you want to apply to your item. You don't have to have it randomly applied, and items can now only have one tempered affix. So I'm sure this is going to be better than what they previously had, of course. In general, just slapping on the thing that you want, that's also, I don't know how creative that is in and of itself, but certainly better than what they had. So masterworking no longer increases your item's affix values. Instead, it improves the quality of the base damage, armor, or resistance. You masterwork something up to a quality of 20, and then when it's at maximum quality, you roll it one last time for a capstone bonus. This bonus upgrades a random non-greater affix on your item to a greater affix, then you can choose to re-roll it. Again, we'll have to see how it goes. Probably better than the other masterworking thing that they had. It looks just like, exactly as they've explained it here. It sounds like a quality system, and then you just, whichever greater affix on your item, maybe you had a stat on there that you really cared about, but you got a greater affix on something else. Now you can make it a greater affix. I wonder if it does anything else other than this, but we'll have to see. This seems very, very deterministic. It seems like with tempering and masterworking now, you can essentially just get what you want very easily, but I guess we'll have to see. And the number of base affixes went from 3 to 4. Monster combat changes. So in general, reading through all these paragraphs, essentially what they're saying is monsters are much smarter, monsters are much deadlier. This is definitely a welcome change because usually what Diablo 4 is just running forward at the speed of light and just murdering 10,000 enemies with the click of a button and not really thinking about much. So that's definitely a welcome sight, at least for me. Elites are receiving several changes. They have 20 plus new monster affixes, and the minions now inherit some of their affixes. In general, enemies are more engaging. They've reduced the overlap in the designs, and they made visual clarity improvements. I'll take this all day long. I'm honestly more excited for this than the masterworking and the tempering things, but maybe it'll be better than I think it is. We'll have to see. They're doing a defensive overhaul, and they're bringing in toughness from Diablo 3. But after reading through this, it sounds like maybe it won't exactly be a one-to-one exactly as it was in Diablo 3. So anyway, you want to scale armor and resistances as much as you possibly can. They have rating systems with diminishing returns. Currently now you have 1,000 armor, I believe is the cap, and then it reduces in every torment tier, so you're chasing 1,000 armor in every torment tier, if I remember correctly. And then resistances, you just cap at 75. Well, now they have a new resistance type, physical damage. Armor is going to help mitigate all different kinds of things, physical and non-physical. And from the way it sounds like you'll just stack these things as high as you possibly can. But we'll have to see how the curve for the diminishing returns is to see what's the best way to actually allocate your defenses. But anyway, this combined with the monsters being more deadly might mean that, your defenses and tactics actually matter, which is very, very, very good news for the game. So I'm very happy to hear that. And the toughness stat represents the total amount of raw damage of each type you can take after considering all damage mitigation sources. So it's like, this is like the maximum hit that you could withstand without dying, I guess. I don't know. I'll get on the PTR and test it, figure it out. But sounds like the toughness value will be how hard a monster can hit you and you would be able to survive. Healing updates. Potions are changing significantly as well. Sounds like this whole patch is just a gigantic combat redo, right? The monsters are smarter, there's new affixes, there's toughness, armor, and resistances are different. There's a new resistance type, it scales differently. Oh, by the way, one important thing that it says here as well is the armor and resistance penalties have been removed with the torment tiers. I think that's actually pretty good. This will further incentivize you to push higher in the game. I like that change a lot. Anyway, onto the potions. They're changing significantly, and these changes go in tandem with the renown changes. But the base potion capacity has been reduced to 4 no matter what your renown is. They're now an instant heal for 35% of your total health. In addition to the potions, you'll slowly regenerate one every 30 seconds. Life on hit has been re-added, and it has a minor cooldown so that no longer scales multiplicatively with armor or monster density. And they have new values for life regeneration, life on kill, and things like that. So once again, by them lowering the amount of potions to 4 and them actually making life on hit and the life regeneration affixes matter, again, it's all just seems like a big, gigantic combat rework where you can't just spam however many potions you used to have and you just don't care about your actual fighting. Again, initial reading of this seems like it's going to actually be a game. So I love it. Fortify redesign. To work in tandem with the healing and the potions, it's shifting from a damage reduction to an additional reservoir of life that's drained to heal you over time. When you gain Fortify, it stacks up to your maximum life. When you have Fortify under your maximum life, you're healed for a percentage of your maximum life per second in exchange for an equal amount of Fortify. Okay? So it's just a way to constantly heal yourself. Interesting. I honestly think that's probably better than the DR version that they had before. Introducing season rank. Wow, that's something that we haven't heard of ever in Diablo 4. Potentially something competitive. Is shifting into a more challenging version stocked with season rank. Each tier requires you to complete a challenge, usually a capstone dungeon, before progressing to the next rank. Similar to the previous capstone dungeons, these can be attempted before the recommended level. Okay, we'll see more on that later. Renown changes in the seasonal realm. Your renown will only stand permanently in the eternal realm. Note that potion capacity changes and removal from renown affects the eternal realm as well. Within the season realm, you can still earn additional benefits associated with renown based on your progress tied to the new season rank system. Complete various challenges with each rank. Completing an entire rank will grant additional capstone bonuses. So you're going to get skill points for ranks 1, 2, and 3, and Paragon points for ranks 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, I mean, just have to try it. But sounds like they're trying to make renown kind of meaningful now, because it was kind of weird. Like, on one hand, it was nice, but on another hand, it was very strange how you used to start with like what was it, 18 skill points, and you already like have like your core skill like maxed out with all the upgrades at level 1. It was so weird. Never really seen any game do that season from season. So if you have to earn the skill points via the renown at ranks 1, 2, and 3, I wonder how many starting skill points we're gonna have. I have no idea. Gonna have to try it out. The capstone dungeons return. I made a video on this about 1 year ago. Can't remember which video it was, but when they removed the capstone dungeons, I was sitting here and I was scratching my head and I was like, why did they do that? I would have went the complete opposite way. Like, when you had to go kill, what was his name? The curator, and then you had to go kill Elias. that was something that you were building toward. You figured out who the curator was, about how difficult he was, what his attacks did, what damage types he did. And the second that you could build a character strong enough and, blacksmith him and codex of power him, your character good enough to fight him, you would have this little challenge, and he wasn't exactly free. And then you'd get to go to the next torment tier. Like, the idea of that, of killing the boss and having a cool dungeon and overcome this obstacle to go forward, was good. I always thought that it was a mistake to remove the capstone dungeons. Now you know how we level up. We either do the infernal hordes, or we do the baby infernal hordes they just introduced, or we do the season mechanic and go sit in a blue Helltide or purple Helltide, whatever color is. We just sit there for 60 levels and nothing ever changes, right? Or you just do the campaign and just run through it as fast as you can. I think putting in the capstone dungeons, something that you have to learn to beat, and making the dungeon really epic and the boss fights epic, is a way better design of the game. So bringing these back and giving you good rewards for beating them, I think is way smarter than removing them. So anyway, now there's 5 of them. At level 30, you fight. It's like a normal fight. At 50, it's an expert fight, and then at 60, you have 3 different major fights. I mean, even if these are very, very poorly done, maybe we can give them some feedback. But I think the structure of this is far better. The tower and leaderboards. Leaderboards? Note that the tower and leaderboards will be officially in beta for the PTR, and in Season 11, they'll be released later. I guess we're going to be testing it. That's fine. A new challenge arrives to test the mettle of the most battle-hardened warriors in Sanctuary. The tower is a multi-staged, timed dungeon. That sounds exactly like Greater Rifts. That is meant to be bested by the most elite of wanderers. While the pit descends you to the greatest depths to galvanize your strength, the tower rises in challenge to match you against others. Plan is to update the tower through multiple seasons. The introduction of the tower is the first iteration of this game mode. They're looking forward to feedback. The tower was distinctly built with new monster combat changes in mind, becoming an expert out at outwitting the new tactics of them. Unlock the tower through the obelisk. From here, you can run the tower on any difficulty you've unlocked for the pit. You have 10 minutes from exiting the first circle to complete the entire dungeon. There's multiple floors, a randomized tile set, and monster family. Kill monsters and collect orbs. This sounds very much like Greater Rifts. The more experience the monsters provide on death, the more score that they provide. Okay, is there a score? Or does score mean, like, are we filling up a bar like Greater Rifts? Or is there a score like in the Gauntlet? Is that what it was called? Pylons appear after destroying towers. You are guaranteed to see 4 pylons. Use these to tactically empower you for a short duration. The first 3 pylons will appear in a random order, guaranteeing each of the 3 options appear at least once. And the 4th one is a random repeat of one of the prior pylons. Okay. So one of the big problems in Diablo 3 endgame leaderboard pushing was the amount of fishing. You're fishing for the right map, you're fishing for the right pylons, you're fishing for the number of pylons, you're fishing for the pylons in the right order. Sounds like you're always going to get 4. That's definitely different from Diablo 3, because Diablo 3 was 2 to 4. And the only RNG here is the order in which you get the first 3 and which one is duplicated. We'll have to see how much RNG that is, but clearly they're taking some inspiration from the problems of D3 and trying to make it more deterministic, I guess. When enough progress is made, it spawns a boss, defeat them before the timer ends, and you get a spot on the leaderboard. Okay, looks like they're bringing something competitive to Diablo 4. Like, I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy here. This is great, but the first thing that my mind goes to is RMT, right? How many people are just going to RMT all of the best gear in the world, and will they all be rank 1, which is one of the reasons why we need a solo self-found thing so badly. But still cool to have this. It's going to be very, very hilarious if we're able to inspect people and see how much they RMT'd their gear. It's going to be kind of funny. Anyway, here's leaderboards. This is where the elite call themselves. Okay. Upon completing, you'll see the tower completed, your final time. There will be 2 entirely separate entries of leaderboards from hardcore and normal. We have plans for the leaderboard following the season 11 launch. This is just focusing on functionality. Okay. Here are the different ones, all the solos in 2, 3, and 4. It makes sense. Here's the stuff that it shows. Okay. Beautiful. Changes to the welcome back booster. Okay, we don't need to read that. Asmodan is now a world boss. Okay, that's cool. I'll take it. So a new world boss to fight, and the PTR starts on October 21st. Well, overall, I guess one question I have is there a season theme with this, or is it just a massive rework of the game? Certainly, if this is it, if there's no season theme, then this is already much better than anything that we've had before. Really love all the changes here. I definitely think that this major overhaul to the game, I mean, I haven't played it. I will play it. We'll have to try it on Tuesday, October 21st. So I did. Yeah, it's on Tuesday. Definitely think this is moving the game in the right direction. Definitely think that Blizzard might be turning the game on the right track here. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that this season seems to be like a much bigger magnitude. Maybe this is what some of the other people were alluding to, that lots of cool things are coming. And all this is just season 11, right? This isn't even the expansion. So, okay. I give you credit here, Blizzard. This took me a little bit by surprise. And we'll see how it is on Tuesday. I'll make my standard state of the PTR video after I test it. We'll figure it out very quickly. But I'm very interested to see how these new enemies feel, how the new toughness thing works, how the healing feels, and the new capstone dungeons, the renown changes. There's a new game mode, the tower, supposed to be like greater rifts. Okay, I give you credit. What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be good? Do you think it's going to be bad? Is this enough to entice you to come back and play? I will definitely try this. I've said this a million times. Blizzard makes a good effort, and Diablo 4 is trying to get better. I'll be there. I'll write a big document. We'll write a ton of feedback. Let's see how it goes. Cautiously optimistic for this, but we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. See you on Tuesday for the PTR.